You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Hello, I am your Superintendent, Jason Manuel.
And I am Mason Grace. Thank you for joining us for the latest installment of the Germantown Municipal School District Spotlight on Excellence.
Today our show will highlight a student competition begun by the Air Force Association in an effort to nurture tomorrow's cybersecurity workforce. Later in the show, we'll also check in with Dogwood kindergarten teacher Mary Lirette to examine how she's bringing her classroom into the 21st century.
But first, we'll check in with our student in the spotlight, Molly McClellan, a Riverdale 8th grader who helped to bring the national program Best Buddies to her school. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Hey Molly, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Good. So let me tell you a little bit about how this got started. I was really touched by a present that I received from you, and it really had a purpose behind it. Tell us a little bit about what the present was that you actually gave me and what the purpose was.
I sent you a bunch of the Spread the Word to End the Word bracelets. And Spread the Word to End the Word is a program kind of involved with Best Buddies, just trying to spread the awareness of the harmful uses of the word retarded because of the effects it has on children with disabilities, the way it's not used, how it used to be.
So, in other words, when kids are just saying it casually to people that are, that are just their friends, they just say it. You're trying to get them to stop saying it, even in that case.
Yes, sir. It's it used to be used as a medical term, but now people use it as calling someone stupid or something like that. But the people who have disabilities aren't stupid. Like, it's not how we want to portray them at all. So we want to stop the use of the word completely.
Well, tell us a little bit about the bracelets. So we have a whole lot of these bracelets, and I have been giving them away to people. So that really the objective is to just pass them out to friends and give them to people so that they're aware that it is an issue.
Yeah, we sold them at our school, actually. And it's just so, like, if someone asks what your bracelet's for, you can tell them and they can get a bracelet, and just everybody knows to stop using the word.
So it's a good talking point. So someone will say, hey, that's a neat bracelet, tell me about it. So did you know how many they sold at the school? Did they have a lot of kids who bought them?
Probably almost 300 bracelets.
Oh, that's wonderful. And then we're doing our part at central office to
all
wear our bracelets. And I keep giving them away when I'm in a setting where someone asks me about it. When they ask me about it, I actually give it to them in the process and tell them to do the same thing.
That's awesome.
And Molly, where do you go to school currently?
I go to Riverdale.
And what grade are you in?
8th.
Okay. And I understand that you are a pretty good artist. You probably wouldn't say that, but I hear that you are a pretty good artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do a lot of art in school. I do all types of art, drawing, painting. We do clay a lot. Just really enjoy it.
Do you think that's something you're going to continue once you come up to the high school?
Absolutely. I've seen the stuff around the school, and it looks amazing. Really want to be a part of it.
Is there a medium that you like more than others? So is it the pottery? Is it watercolors?
Probably painting.
Probably painting.
And just curious, what do you like to do outside the school?
I go to movies with my friends, just hang out with them a lot. I do stage crew, mostly just involved in Best Buddies, stuff like that.
And so we've been talking about Best Buddies and really one of their programs, but I think we need to dive into really what is Best Buddies and how did it get started here in this area? What can you tell us about Best Buddies?
Best Buddies is a total nonprofit organization where someone with a disability is paired up with someone without a disability, and they are essentially best buddies. Like, they hang out at school, hang out after school, go to basketball games, football games, stuff like that. And it's just meant to help children with disabilities feel more included in a social setting.
So, like you were saying earlier, one of your favorite things to do outside is to go to the movies, hang out with your friends. For some people, just starting that conversation to hang out with friends is a lot harder than others. So the whole purpose of this is really to start including those people, make it easy for them to kind of get to those social settings and kind of hang out with them.
Absolutely. Some people think that because they have a disability means there's something wrong or you shouldn't talk to them. Like, it's not how it is at all. You have to make sure you include everyone, and it's just trying to show people that you can hang out with them and you should include them.
Now, really, this started in Arlington, is that correct?
Yes. There's a student named Hunter and his family. It's a national organization, but they noticed that it wasn't in Memphis, so they brought it to Arlington. And then my mom used to work at Arlington.
Or elementary, middle?
High school.
Arlington High School.
And I went to the match party there, and I was kind of, I guess, confused why we didn't have it at our school. So I brought it to Riverdale.
Oh, wonderful.
And y'all meet during the day and like at a clubs, or how does the club meet?
We usually meet just during a certain time of day, and we meet in the gym, and we just talk and listen to music and
just enjoy being with each other, hanging out.
Absolutely.
But there's a difference between how it works in the middle school versus how it works in the high school. Tell us a little bit about how they're different.
So in middle school, most of the students or their students' parents with disabilities aren't comfortable with them staying after school because they don't know if they can get a ride or stuff like that. Where in high school, some students can drive, and most students do have cell phones, stuff like that, so they can be more social with their buddies and with the buddies' parents. So they make sure they have good contact with them so they can like pick them up and hang out and stuff like that.
Do you have something that stands out? It's like one of your favorite things that you've done as a part of this club or organization?
Well,
last year we
it can be a
put
fun
you on the
event.
spot.
Well, I guess just the fact that our club has grown so much since last year. Last year was our first year starting it, and we had 15 members. But this year, which is the second year, we have almost 60 members. So it's just grown a lot, and more people are starting to include them, like even people who aren't in the club. And I know there's people in my grade who, when they come to Houston, they want to join the club, so it's a big deal.
Oh, so you're growing it. So you plan on, do you have any plans for when it's Houston High School? Do you plan on helping it grow when you get there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know they only have, I think they said they only have like 20-something members here. So we want to make sure we grow that and definitely include more people.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I know that Houston High School is excited for you to come up here and expand this program and really help them plug in. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you for being a part of Germantown Schools.
Absolutely.
Before we take a break, we will watch a short video from the National Best Buddies organization. When we return, we will explore the world of CyberPatriots and how Houston High School is preparing for some of its students for tomorrow's most important jobs.
Okay, here we go.
Everybody needs somebody.
A friend.
Somebody who knows.
What makes you laugh?
How you feel about football?
Movies.
Singing.
Life.
Somebody who always has your back.
A real friend.
A best buddy.
But sometimes it can be hard for people
with intellectual and developmental disabilities
to make friends.
That's why we started Best Buddies.
A network of more than 70,000 friends
Across America.
And around the world.
Best Buddies matches people like me.
Like me.
like me. With people like me.
like me,
Like me.
To create one-on-one friendships
that foster understanding,
break down barriers,
and help us see how.
Beautiful.
Smart.
Funny.
And amazing.
We all are.
And we can use your help.
Go to bestbuddies.org and see how you can get involved.
Because everybody needs a best buddy.
including me.
Me.
Me. You.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back. I am Superintendent Jason Manuel. As we delve into the world of cybersecurity, we welcome Wyatt Dolce, a CyberPatriot student, and his teacher sponsor, Leslie Brommer, to the studio. Thank y'all for being here. So really, I think a lot of people need to know, what is the CyberPatriot group?
Well, CyberPatriot it's actually an educational program put on by the Air Force Association.
Okay.
And it's a whole curriculum teaching students about cybersecurity and how important it is in the future of our country and our businesses. And it culminates in the competition. So there's really the curriculum where we teach the students, and then there's the competition part.
How did you find out about CyberPatriot? Because it hasn't always been here at Houston High School.
No, it's CyberPatriot itself is 8 years old, but about 3 years ago, a teacher here, Mrs. Ashley, came by my room and she said, here's some information I think you'd be interested in. My friend is the area rep. That's retired Lieutenant Colonel P.Z. Horton is the area rep for this area. And she gave it to me and I kind of looked over it and I put it away and thought, oh, I don't have time for this year. And then I looked at it in the spring and it was really a little bit out of my comfort zone because it had a lot to do with hardware and I'm more of a software person. So I put it down again until the fall and then picked it up and called Mr. Horton and we talked about it. And so I registered us and he told us that we were kind of late registering so we wouldn't probably do very well in the competition. Little did he know how fabulous these students are. So now and then this is our second year.
So I've heard that you don't really like the term hacker.
Right, yeah.
So what do you prefer? Because I've heard of ethical hacking, and I think a lot of people relate to the word hacker.
Right.
What do you think our perception is of what a hacker is or what you do?
Well,
you want to take that?
It can really vary. Like you can have people that will actually keep us employed, the real hackers that are trying to break in, but then you have us that would be, I guess you would say, ethical hackers trying to either hack them back or secure it and prevent them from even being able to get into the information. I mean, I know especially with all the data breaches that you've seen recently in the news, credit cards getting stolen, our career options are endless and growing really fast.
So tell us about what your club experience is like. So I know y'all meet after school. What are you doing when y'all are in there? Because you said you're really software and hardware. What are y'all working on?
Typically, we'll either talk about maybe our previous competition and collaborate about stuff that we found that other teams may not have to try and get better as a whole. And through that, we can build our own knowledge of the cybersecurity field and ensure that with our future competitions that we will do better than we did before.
So tell me about a competition. What does this look like? So is it just a room filled with people who are all on computers typing away, and how do they present it? Is it a problem that they show you, or are you trying to get into a system? How does it work in the competition?
What you get is they give you 3 images or so. They're just versions of the operating system that run all virtually. So we'll have like little stations set up, maybe like a circle, or in each clusters of teams. Sometimes we compete on multiple days. And through that, what we'll do is we'll have a virtual image or a virtual basically machine running, and there's a defined like set of things that we're supposed to accomplish. They don't really tell you how to do it. That's the trick. You got to figure out how to get it done. And then they even give us a little aspect. It's a networking aspect. So that ensures that you're not just all focused on the operating system. You also know how to prevent people from getting into it.
So you've got to shut the door before they even get into your system. Well, what got you into this area? What do you think drew you into being an ethical hacker or being a cyber patriot?
From a young age, I've always really liked computers. And when I joined or went to Houston, I noticed that they had the programming class. I was like, wow, might as well take that, because the middle school didn't have anything like that. And then joined here, I'm like, oh, seems like a great fit. So I took that, and Ms. Brommer had reached out to some of her students that she felt would be a good fit and asked if we would compete. And I decided, sure, why not? And really, after the first year, I realized that's what I wanted to do actually as a long-term career, and it's helped continue to build my interest in the topic, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to major in that when I go to college, actually.
And y'all have had some success in competitions too. Over the years, how have y'all done in these competitions?
Last year, we had just 2 teams of 6 students each, and we got 2nd and 3rd in the state, and then one team placed 2nd in the regional, which is 8 states. And then this year, we had a lot more students interested, so we had 24 students, 4 teams. And we placed 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 7th in the state, and then one team placed 4th in the regional, in the highest tier level of competition.
So they have different degrees for the teams that they can compete on. Oh, that's exciting. And then you've received some success, I've heard, from getting our school involved in this. And obviously, you're impacting students' lives because you're giving them a direction of what they may decide to major in. Tell us a little bit about your nomination.
Well, I was nominated for the Area Air Force Association Teacher of the Year, and then that puts me in the pool for the State Teacher of the Year for
that's
the
incredible.
Air Force. Yeah.
That's incredible. So tell us about some of the careers that you may be doing, or different groups that you would work on. Where do you think you would like to plug in?
For college, I'm really not decided yet, but I know that through CyberPatriot, it's through the grants from the National Science Foundation. They run a program that will actually cover a good portion of your tuition to further your career there, and through that you get put in a pipeline and you get government jobs like directly into the NSA or some place like that. And then even if I get a full ride and decide against that path, you can go in the private sector, and every company that's had anything to do with the internet is hiring for cybersecurity because it's such a growing profession.
That's incredible. And you know, we really heard a lot about this because you are winning competitions, but we had a tour recently from Leadership Germantown. And I think one of the things that impressed those adults that were coming through was they said, this is real. Y'all aren't just learning, you know, something out of a book. You are actually applying what you're learning and working for a skill. So where do you see it going forward from here?
Oh, I think we'll have more students interested in doing it. Hopefully, these guys say how much fun. I mean, I think they have a lot of fun. They learn so much real world knowledge that they can apply problem solving skills, and they have a good time doing it. So I think the program will absolutely continue, if not grow. I can only do so much. I can only have to add we'll have to get someone else to help us out if we increase it even more.
And you currently have 4 teams right now. So how many students are on each team?
6.
6 students on each team. Oh wow, well. We look forward to seeing the exciting things that are coming for the CyberPatriot team and what's going to happen here at Houston High School. And once again, you are here because you are doing something exceptional in Germantown schools. And we look forward to seeing what you're going to do once you leave Germantown schools. So thank you all very much. Before we take a short break, check out this graphic explanation of what the CyberPatriot Club hopes to inspire. When we come back, we will spend some time with Mary Lirette in this month's Teacher Feature.
Cybersecurity has become such a global threat and a global challenge.
This isn't a military problem. This is a retail problem. This is a wholesale problem. This is a logistics problem. This problem cuts across every segment of the United States.
We see it in the news. People hack into corporations and companies.
Cyber attacks are getting more complex and more dangerous, and they're having more impact for the organizations that they affect.
There are not enough people out there fighting the battle of cyber, and young people need to be a part of that.
The key is, how do we as a country fill these jobs that need to be filled? CyberPatriot's offering that on a platter.
The CyberPatriot National Youth Cyber Education Program was created by the Air Force Association in 2009 to attract students to careers and academic opportunities in cybersecurity and other STEM fields. At the core of the program is its annual National Youth Cyber Defense Competition that challenges teams of high school and middle school students to strengthen and defend simulated computer networks. The teams compete within their divisions in several online qualifying rounds, which challenge them to find and to fix cybersecurity vulnerabilities in a variety of simulated networks. After these rounds, the top 28 teams travel, all expenses paid, to the national finals competition, where they battle it out for their division's national championship title and for academic scholarships donated by Northrop Grumman Corporation for pursuing the exciting field of cybersecurity.
CyberPatriot just makes cyber and learning way more fun.
It directs their interest in technology towards something that can have exponential benefits to them.
All my life growing up, I've been a really curious kid, and I've never really had an outlet. Cyber has really given me somewhere to direct all my curiosity towards, and it's been really incredible for me.
Truly, this gives any high school student a true taste of not only what it would be like in a cybersecurity career field, but any information technology career field.
And I think that makes CyberPatriot so cool.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back. I am Superintendent Jason Manuel.
And I am Mason Grace.
And you're watching GMSD's Spotlight on Excellence. We want to spend our last moments highlighting an exemplary teacher in a segment we call the Teacher Feature. With us today is Mary Lirette, a kindergarten teacher with her sights set on 21st century. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, the word 21st century, we throw that around a lot. How are you really setting your sights on being a 21st century? What things do you think you're doing to really prepare our students for the next century?
Well, when I think of 21st century classrooms, I think of student-led conversations, cooperative learning groups, just that collaboration that should be in every classroom, I feel. We're in a digital age, and I think we need to use those tools that we have to move our students so that they're prepared for the future.
Speaking of collaboration,
yes.
I think you have a blog that's it's viewed by a lot of people, I believe.
It is.
I think sometimes people say they don't have time to put stuff like what they're doing to share it, but I understand you have about 300 things you shared on that site since 2011. I think you probably have around 2 million views of that site. I looked through it. There's some amazing things going on, and in kindergarten it can be applied in so many different grade levels. It's amazing to see. What inspired that blog? How do you feel about that?
Well, when I first started it, 2011, I guess was when it was. I taught second grade that year, and I thought, I want something that I can reflect with. And so most of my posts that were in the beginning were just reflections. Okay, here's what I did today in class. Here's what my students did. Here's, what we're gonna do next. And really just having that as a reflective piece has helped me. I mean, in all aspects. I moved to kindergarten and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna continue this. It had a lot of people that really took to it, and to get emails from people all over the world that are asking me questions or saying, I love the way you did this, tell me more about this. That's just amazing.
So many times when you do a lesson, you get finished with it, you immediately start thinking about the next lesson.
Yeah.
But I think we miss how important it is to reflect on that lesson and think about how you could have done it better and write it down so you know next year when you do it.
Absolutely. And I do that a lot actually. I look back to previous years when I do my planning and I think, okay, here's what I'm going to do next. Look at what I did last year. How can I make that better this year?
So I'll tell you how you really blipped on my radar was we had the Germantown PD Day.
Yes.
And so one of the goals of that PD Day was for everyone to send out tweets on Twitter. And so everyone who sent out a tweet, I started following them. And when I started watching what you're doing, I was like, oh my goodness, you're talking to an explorer in Antarctica today.
Yes.
Or I can't believe this lesson that you're doing on President. It really was amazing to me to really watch and see what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
So I think that collaboration is impacting not just our students, but like you said, you're helping other teachers across the district to really think about their craft and really examine their lessons.
Yes.
Now, we talked about collaboration with adults, and you also mentioned it in your classroom. You took that to heart. Your classroom doesn't look like other classrooms, does it?
Probably not. More and more classrooms, I think, are taking on flexible seating, which is what I have. If you were to walk into my room at any given moment, you would see a lot of kids that are just spread out all over the floor, basically. It may look a little chaotic, but it's controlled chaos. They are in pods all over the room. They're on bouncy balls, they're on stools, they're in little scoop chairs on the floor with clipboards. They're able to just kind of work together and really have that collaboration with one another that may not be as possible if they're sitting in desks in rows.
So traditionally, a lot of teachers would think that's a mess.
Yes.
They can't focus when they're like that. So you find that not to be true.
No. And I'll tell you, one of the best pieces of advice that I got when I was student teaching was my supervisor told me, she said, you know what? A loud classroom is a great classroom. If you were to walk into a room and the room is silent, the kids, may be learning but may not. But if you walk into a room and the kids are all over the place and they are, having those meaningful conversations with each other, then learning is really taking place.
They're engaged.
Yeah, exactly. And I think my kids are.
And one way to ensure that they're having those meaningful conversations as they're sitting together would probably not be to sit behind your desk.
That I don't have,
so
yes.
You took a different step, so what'd you do with that then?
Yes. Well, I don't have a desk at all in my room. I do have tables, of course. I have a guided group table that I sit at, a small group, those kidney tables that I will sit at sometimes. But I don't have a desk because I really didn't want to have the option to sit down. I don't want to be that teacher that sits behind a desk and, kids come to her or, gives students assignments to do. I want to be up walking around with them. So they don't have assigned seats, and neither do I.
I think something else special about your story is that you help us achieve our goal for really growing students. And when we say growing students, it's not just academically. We want them to become good citizens. We want them to realize that they can make a difference, that they can plug into a bigger community. Yeah. And you have a personal story that at Dogwood, you have really helped them through a process of Jump Rope for Heart. Tell us a little bit about how you became involved with the American Heart Association. Mm-hmm. Tell us about your experience with them.
I cannot take credit for it because I didn't start the Jump Rope for Heart. Our PE teachers are amazing at Dogwood, and they've been doing it long before I was there. But I did help this year. I do have heart disease. When I was 5, I contracted a virus, just a random rare virus that attacked my heart tissue. So I do have a pacemaker defibrillator that helps my heartbeat, and some repercussions from that. But I told my personal story to the school, and they kind of went with it. I've told the kids about it. They've held my past pacemakers in their hand, and I jump with them, and it's kind of been a building experience, I think, for everybody, and it's given them an opportunity to put a face to what they're raising money for.
And I think that's important. You say, I know you may not be the initial person who started that program, but you are for them a personal relationship. You're a personal experience for them to realize that they are changing people's lives just like you.
Yeah.
And I think last year Dogwood raised like the most money for the national company, right? Per school.
In Tennessee.
Right?
In Tennessee, I believe.
Tennessee. And if what I understand, y'all are blowing last year's amount out of the water.
Yes.
Right?
Traditionally, I believe it was just 4th and 5th grade students that participated, and then last year they added 3rd grade to it. And we, I believe, had the top money raised in all of Tennessee. And so they thought, why not do it the whole school? So we did it K through 5 this year. And don't quote me on this, but I think we are almost at $54,000 that we raised.
That's amazing.
Yes, it is amazing.
So now you've taken the opportunity to also fundraise for your classroom too. You had a Donor Choose project at your school. Tell us about that.
I've done a couple Donors Choose projects actually. I did 2 in the past for iPads to bring that 21st century learning into the classroom. And then I did the flexible seating to get some more stools and little bounce balls and things like that for our classroom.
And I think that's important because I've started looking at some furniture, and it's not cheap to have 21st century furniture. So I know there's a lot of teachers out there wondering, how do I get that in my classroom? How does it work?
Donors
so you
Choose
did on your own.
awesome.
You just went there and did Donors Choose, and just got it all replaced.
Yeah, I just submitted a project, and it was approved, and amazing. It was. I think the whole project was funded in like 3 days. So there's a lot of buy-in, I think, out there. Parents like the thought of their child not having to sit in a chair all day long.
That's awesome.
And I think when they see your classroom and they see the things that you're doing, everyone is going to want to be in Miss Lirette's class.
That's right.
I would take them all.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's all we have time for on this month's Spotlight on Excellence. If you'd like more information about this or any other show on Germantown Municipal Television, visit us on our website at www.gmtvonline.org. Until next time, this has been Superintendent Jason Manuel for this month's installment of the Germantown Municipal School District's Spotlight on Excellence.